Previously, Jade and Tabitha finally reached the sacrifice chamber and uncovered the children's bones. But the moment they did, every creature in the cave surrounded them and delivered a terrifying warning. You should never have done this. Now, let's see what happens in the Season 4 finale episode 10. Back inside the sacrifice chamber, Jade and Tabitha don't waste a second. They quickly begin collecting the children's bones into a bag. As they work, Jade quietly tells Tabitha something heartbreaking. Once Boyd removes the bottle tree from above, she has to take the bones and escape through the ladder. He's going to stay behind and buy her the time she needs. If someone has to be sacrificed, it'll be him. Tabitha immediately refuses. She's not willing to leave Jade behind, but Jade has already made up his mind. Without giving her another chance to argue, he sends the signal to Boyd to pull the tree. The moment the bottle tree is uprooted, everything changes. The path opens, and the creatures are finally able to cross the plastic barrier. Slowly, they begin walking toward Jade and Tabitha. But just before they reach them, sunlight pours through the opening from above, forcing every creature to stop in its tracks. Realizing this is their only chance, Boyd quickly lowers the ladder. Tabitha grabs the bag of bones and starts climbing toward the surface. But Sophia had already planned for this. The rope she secretly cut the previous night finally gives way. Just as Tabitha is about to climb out, the ladder snaps and she crashes back into the cave with the bones. And then something impossible happens. The bright daylight suddenly disappears. In an instant, day turns into night. With the sunlight gone, nothing stands between the creatures and their prey. Just when it looks like all hope is lost, a massive earthquake shakes the entire cave. The violent tremors tear open a brand new crack in the cave wall. Seeing their only chance, Jade grabs Tabitha and both of them run for their lives through the caves as the creatures chase them from behind. Just when it seems they've reached a dead end and there's nowhere left to escape, the entire cave begins shaking again. Huge rocks crash down and completely seal the passage where the creatures were coming from. Jade and Tabitha are trapped. Looking around, they notice only one possible escape, a narrow passage hidden behind a wall of wooden planks. Meanwhile, on the surface, the earthquake throws Boyd and the others into chaos. The creatures begin coming after them as well, leaving everyone with only one choice. They jump into the vehicles and race back toward the village before it's too late. The earthquake isn't happening only inside the cave. The entire village starts shaking violently. Buildings tremble, people panic, and no one understands what's happening. At the clinic, Fatima and Marielle are waiting for everyone to return when Fatima suddenly senses something. She can feel the smiling ghost, the very creature she once gave birth to, coming straight toward the clinic. At first, neither of them is too worried. The talisman is hanging on the door, so the creature shouldn't be able to enter, but the earthquake has already changed that. The talisman has fallen off the wall during the shaking. As Marielle rushes to hang it back, the smiling ghost walks right into the clinic. With no other choice, both women retreat into a room, hoping to place the talisman on the door before it reaches them. But they're too late. The creature enters the room before they can finish. Desperate to protect Fatima, Marielle grabs a knife and attacks the creature, but it doesn't even slow it down. The smiling ghost stabs Marielle, and at that exact moment, Fatima lets out the very same scream as the creature, as if both of them are sharing the same pain. Strangely, the smiling ghost doesn't touch Fatima. It simply smiles, turns around, and leaving only Marielle behind. Moments later, Christy arrives at the clinic and freezes when she sees the smiling ghost calmly walking out. She rushes inside and finds Marielle bleeding to death. The wound is too severe and too much blood has already been lost. Realizing she doesn't have much time left, Marielle asks Christy for one final goodbye kiss. Through tears, Christy grants her wish, and in Christy's arms, Marielle takes her last breath. At the diner, Sophia is busy with her own plan. She tries to manipulate Elgin the same way she manipulated Clara, convincing him to trust her. But this time it doesn't work. Elgin has already learned his lesson. He knows that trusting the creatures was the reason Fatima was forced to give birth to the smiling ghost. He tries to run away. For the first time, Sophia loses her calm. She simply grabs Elgin's hand, and instantly blood begins pouring from his eyes and mouth. Within seconds, Elgin collapses to the ground dead. At that exact moment, daylight returns as if nothing had happened. It becomes clear that everything until now was only the beginning of Sophia's plan. While everyone is distracted by the earthquake, she quietly starts her real game. She removes the talisman from the diner, and with Clara's help, they secretly take the talismans from every house house in the village. Meanwhile, Henry is still trapped between two realities. He doesn't know whether the village is real or if the hospital is. While searching through Victor's things, he finds a few old bullets. Donna then tells him that Victor once had a gun, but Boyd confiscated it years ago and locked it inside his office. Suddenly, Henry remembers what the doctor in his visions kept repeating: "You have to remove the anchor if you want to wake up." Convinced that Victor is the anchor keeping him trapped inside the dream, Henry goes straight to Boyd's office, finds the gun, and waits. A few moments later, Victor walks in. Without hesitation, Henry points the gun at him. Believing that killing Victor will finally wake him up in the real world, he prepares to pull the trigger. But before he can fire, Ethan walks in and screams. The sudden distraction gives Victor just enough time to knock the gun out of Henry's hand. At the same time, something terrifying happens outside. From the giant hole where the bottle tree once stood, a massive bolt of lightning shoots straight into the sky. Within seconds, the entire sky begins turning blood red. Everyone in the village comes outside and watches in complete shock, unable to understand what they're witnessing. Ethan is terrified. Jade and Tabitha still haven't returned, and Victor's words keep echoing in his mind that one day everyone would die and he would be left alone, just like Victor once was. Donna tries to calm him down, but before she can even finish comforting him, the kitchen suddenly comes alive. Just like before, every cabinet door starts slamming open and shut on its own, while plates and utensils begin crashing to the floor as if an invisible force has entered the house. Acosta rushes to Boyd and tells him there's only one option left. They have to go into the cave and bring back the children's bones. But Boyd has completely lost hope. In his mind, Jade and Tabitha are already dead. They were the only ones who knew what to do, and now he believes they're gone. Even if someone brings the bones out, nobody knows what comes next. Just as he's about to give up, the communication device suddenly receives a signal. With the last bit of battery left, Jade has somehow managed to send a message from inside the cave. Boyd's face instantly changes. They're alive. Without wasting another second, Boyd decides to go into the cave alone to rescue them. Alice immediately refuses to let him go by himself, and Fatima insists on joining as well. She explains that because of her strange connection with the smiling ghost, she can sense when the creatures are nearby. That ability might be the only thing keeping them alive inside the cave. Deep underground, Jade and Tabitha are desperately searching for a way out. The narrow passage is blocked by thick wooden planks, and no matter how hard they try, they can't break through them. Finally, Jade uses one of the children's bones as a tool. As Tabitha picks up one of the small skulls, she suddenly realizes it's the skull of a little girl. An overwhelming wave of emotion hits her because she remembers the truth. That little girl wasn't just one of the sacrificed children. She was the daughter of Jade and Tabitha in one of their previous lives. Before they even have time to process that heartbreaking revelation, Boyd finally reaches them. He fires his gun into the wooden barrier, smashing it apart and rescuing both of them. But as they're making their escape, the creatures catch up once again. That's when something unbelievable happens. Fatima steps forward and lets out the exact same scream as the creatures. Right before everyone's eyes, her body slowly begins changing into one of them. Ellis is frozen in shock, unable to believe what he's seeing. But that terrifying moment gives the others the distraction they need, and everyone manages to escape the cave. In the final scene, the boy in white appears before Sophia. Confidently, he tells her that this time the man in yellow is finally going to lose. But Sophia only smiles and walks to another bottle tree and quietly drops every stolen talisman into it. And with that chilling final scene, season 4 comes to an end. The talismans are gone now. The village is left completely unprotected for the first time. Where will the talismans end up, and will they ever find them again? How will anyone survive when night falls with no talisman protection? And most terrifying of all, what is the man in yellow's real endgame after removing their only defense? The answers are left for season 5.